Something strange and shocking has just been discovered, a 2,000-year-old book containing unbelievable secrets that have left the Christian community perplexed, with archaeologists and historians also intrigued. This ancient artifact reveals unsettling secrets that challenge our understanding of the Christian religion as we know it today, leaving many to question the true and valid claims of this book. The Book of St. Barnabas, recently unearthed in the city of Tokat, Turkey, comprises both the Old and New Testaments. It mentions familiar events from the Holy Bible, but from a different perspective. For instance, it states that Jesus existed and walked the earth, but was not crucified, a staggering departure from traditional beliefs. While minor discrepancies among texts and authors of the Holy Bible are acknowledged, none of them ever mention that Jesus wasn't crucified. Discovered not in the conventional sense of a Bible, but as a documented book attributed to St. Barnabas, a close associate of Apostle Paul, this ancient manuscript is believed to be worth $20 million. Crafted from animal hides and inscribed in complex handwriting, each page is a challenge to reproduce. The book is written in Syriac, an Aramaic dialect spoken by Jesus himself, which explains the language difference with the Gospels written in Greek. After analysis by several experts, it was estimated that the book is about 1,500 years old or possibly even older. However, the next shocking revelation theologians discovered in the book will leave you speechless. The book claims Jesus wasn't crucified, instead, Judas was crucified, and Jesus ascended to heaven while he was still alive. This book is beyond conventional. Another section of this book that contradicts the Holy Bible states that Jesus is not the Son of God, but just a prophet sent to deliver God's word. The book also accuses Apostle Paul of being an impostor. The unbelievable content of this book has stirred controversies among the Christian community and piqued the interest of biblical scholars and historians worldwide. The Vatican has even demanded to see it. These assertions challenge everything we've known for centuries, and the nature of how the book was found has made researchers wonder whether it is authentic. Tokat, where the book was found, has become notorious for smuggling mysterious artifacts, making some question the authenticity of the book. However, scientists have concluded that this book, the Gospel of St. Barnabas, is authentic and not a fabrication, as many believed. The book presents a version of Jesus that aligns with the teachings of the Quran, which has led some scholars to suspect that it was likely composed in the 15th to 16th century AD by Muslims aiming to discredit the traditional biblical message of Jesus. The Gospel of Barnabas is not included in the Bible because it was written around 1,000 years after the time of Barnabas, with no apostolic support. Even if it had been written during the time of the apostles, it would not have achieved canonical status because of its historical and doctrinal inaccuracies. This recent discovery challenges our understanding of Christian history and doctrine, raising questions about the nature of truth and the complexities of religious beliefs. Something strange and shocking has just been discovered, a 2,000-year-old book that contained unbelievable secrets that have left the Christian community perplexed. Archaeologists and historians aren't left behind. This ancient artifact revealed unsettling secrets that challenge our understanding of the Christian religion we know today, leaving many to question how true and valid the claims of this book are. Where was it discovered? What is the content? Who is the author? You will find out about these and many more shortly. Prepare to be astonished by the revelations in this video. The Book of St. Barnabas. Historians have uncovered numerous ancient books, some of which contain unsettling information, such as accounts of peculiar events and ancient languages that have faded into obscurity. One such discovery is an ancient Bible recently discovered in the city of Tokat, Turkey. This unique book, comprising both the Old and New Testaments, mentions different events recorded in the Holy Bible, but from a different perspective. For instance, it stated that Jesus existed and walked the earth, but was not crucified. That's a staggering departure from traditional beliefs. Bible scholars do agree that there are minor discrepancies among the different texts and authors of the Holy Bible, but none of the narratives ever mention that Jesus wasn't crucified. However, that wasn't the only shocking revelation. The book contained even more terrifying content. Before delving into that, how was the book discovered? Discovered not in the conventional sense of a Bible, but as a documented book attributed to St. Barnabas, a close associate of Apostle Paul, when a gang of antiquities thieves was caught trying to smuggle it with other valuable artifacts worth millions of dollars. Crafted from animal hides, each page is inscribed in complex handwriting that is just too hard to reproduce. This ancient manuscript, written in Syriac, an Aramaic dialect spoken by Jesus himself, is believed to be worth $20 million. You might want to ask how Jesus could speak Aramaic while all the Gospels are written in Greek. It's very simple. There were multiple languages in the area Jesus lived, and people were fluent in the languages of the time: Greek, Aramaic, and then Hebrew. After analysis by several experts, it was estimated that the book is about 1,500 years old, or possibly even older. But that isn't our focus at the moment. The next shocking revelation the theologians discovered in the book will leave you speechless. The book claims Jesus wasn't crucified; instead, Judas was crucified, and that Jesus ascended to heaven while he was still alive. This book is beyond conventional. But that wasn't all. There were still many more secrets waiting to be discovered. Keep watching. Another section of this book that contradicts the Holy Bible that we all know also states that Jesus is not the Son of God, but just a prophet sent to deliver God's word. The book also accuses Apostle Paul of being an impostor. Hold on a second. Is this Saint Barnabas, the believed author of this book, the same Barnabas, the close associate of Apostle Paul in the Holy Bible? We'll come back to this shortly. The unbelievable content of this book stirred controversies among the Christian community. It has piqued the interest of biblical scholars and historians around the world to the point where the Vatican demanded to see it. Those assertions, and many more, will still uncover in the video challenge everything we've known for centuries, and the nature of how the book was found made researchers wonder whether it was authentic. Do you know that lately, Tokat, where the book was found, has become notorious for smuggling mysterious artifacts? This trend became more pronounced in 2015 when a painting by Vincent van Gogh called Orphan Man Standing was found in the car of a suspected smuggler alongside this Bible or book. The Turkish police also found a collection of expensive jewelry, 53 ancient coins, and 2 arrowheads. The cover of the book was unfortunately damaged beyond repair. Still, the illustrations within it, decorated using gold leaf, have been said to form the image of Jesus Christ and Mary. The Bible has only about 50 pages left inside, most of which are in relatively good but delicate condition. The pages, though faded, are striking. And to this day, biblical scholars are still trying to make sense of the whole thing. But one thing is sure: scientists have concluded that this book, that is, the Gospel of St. Barnabas, is authentic and not a fabrication, as many believed, which begs the question, which of the Barnabas? The 2 different Barnabas. Apparently, there are 2 distinct Barnabas in the church history, just as we have about 4 or 5 different Johns in the New Testament of the Holy Bible as of now. Yeah, we need to be specific about that in case another Bible is discovered tomorrow, to ascertain that we have another John from Egypt. A little humor. First, let's start with the real Barnabas, the one and the only man who bore that name in the Holy Bible. Saint Barnabas, who flourished in the 1st century and is celebrated on June 11th, was a pivotal early Christian missionary highlighted in the New Testament and identified as one of the Apostolic Fathers. Initially a Hellenized Jew, Barnabas became part of the Jerusalem church shortly after the crucifixion of Christ. He notably sold his possessions and generously contributed the proceeds to the community. He was one of the Cypriots who founded the church in Antioch, where he preached. In 48 AD, he invited St. Paul from Tarsus to join him as a partner in missionary work before heading to Jerusalem. Subsequently, a significant disagreement arose between them, prompting Barnabas to depart for Cyprus. Despite lacking contemporary records about his later endeavors, Paul briefly mentioned him a few years later. The exact details surrounding Barnabas' death remain unknown, though a 5th-century forgery called The Journeys and Martyrdom of Barnabas claims he was martyred in Cyprus and buried there. Later, some Old Church rulers linked him in Alexandria, Egypt, where he is credited with writing the letter of Barnabas, analyzing the Old Testament, and in Rome. He likewise suggested he may have authored the biblical letter to the Hebrews. Barnabas' supposed tomb was unearthed in 488 AD near the monastery of St. Barnabas in Salamis, Cyprus, a city where Paul and Barnabas established the Christian community. But we mustn't confuse the Gospel of Barnabas, the recently discovered Bible, with the Epistle of Barnabas. The epistle may not have been included in the Holy Bible, but not because of any controversial content. It was simply not believed to be written by Barnabas. What about the Gospel of St. Barnabas? The other Barnabas, the one attributed to the Gospel of Barnabas, is a bit of a mystery. According to some scholars, the Gospel of Barnabas was written by an anonymous author, most likely between the 14th and 16th centuries AD, and not by Barnabas. The book was written in Spanish and not in the ancient language of the time, which is a red flag for many scholars. Furthermore, the book contains anachronisms and historical inaccuracies that indicate it was written long after the events it describes. For example, it refers to events and places that did not exist until after the time of Jesus, such as the city of Nazareth. Moreover, the Gospel of Barnabas contains theological ideas that are not found in the Bible, such as the denial of the crucifixion of Jesus and the assertion that Muhammad is the Messiah. These ideas are more consistent with the beliefs of Islam than with traditional Christian doctrine. For these reasons, the Gospel of Barnabas is not considered to be a reliable source of information about the life of Jesus or the early Christian church. But wait. Could the author of the Gospel of Barnabas have gotten his inspiration from Dante? If we accept the trending claim that it was written well before the 14th century, it should be included with the Dead Sea Scrolls. But the Gospel of Barnabas was not in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Well, you might want to get pissed off thinking Christians often struggle with apparent contradictions in Scripture, such as the concept of the Trinity and the issue of Jesus' second coming always prevailing, leading them to grapple with conflicting ideas. It's worth noting that similar tensions can also be found within Islam. According to the Quran, marriage binds a woman to one man, but it does not restrict a man to one woman. Muslim men can marry multiple wives, Quran 4 verse 3, and an unlimited number of female servants, Quran 70 verse 30. However, the Gospel of Barnabas promotes the biblical concept of marriage, stating it unites a man and a woman equally. Let a man content himself therefore with the wife whom his Creator has given him and let him forget every other woman. Chapter 1:15. The Quran teaches that Mary had pain when she gave birth to Jesus, and she withdrew with him to a far place. And the pangs of childbirth drove her unto the trunk of the palm tree, Quran 19 verses 22-23, Pickthall. However, the Gospel of Barnabas teaches the opposite. The virgin was surrounded by a light exceeding bright and brought forth her son without pain in chapter 3. The Quran teaches that there are 7 heavens, while the Gospel of Barnabas teaches that there are 9 heavens. Honestly, these assertions have left theologians scratching their heads, leaving them with the question, what should we believe? The height of it was when the Gospel of Barnabas claimed Muhammad as the Messiah. The Quran states that Jesus is the Messiah, not Muhammad. Allah giveth thee glad tidings of a word from him, whose name is the Messiah, Jesus, son of Mary. Quran 3:45, Pickthall. Contrary to this, the Gospel of Barnabas asserts that Jesus is not the Messiah and names Muhammad as the Messiah. Jesus confessed and said the truth, I am not the Messiah. Chapter 42. Then, the text mentions a dialogue about how the Messiah should be identified, with Jesus allegedly stating, Muhammad is his blessed name. Chapter 97. These beliefs appear to go against the teachings of the Quran. By now, it's clear why Christians can't accept the Gospel of Barnabas. It's contrary to Orthodox thought and likely written over 1,400 years after the original Bible compilation. However, some scholars suggest a different reason. They argue that the Gospel of St. Barnabas might have been excluded because there is no account of his death in the Bible. He is noted as the only saint whose death is not mentioned in the canon. Could this be true? This is also similar to the case of Enoch and his book. Enoch was a man the Bible noted as being righteous. He daily walked with God until the last day of his life when God came to take him home, meaning he never died the natural death. Another shocking ancient mystery revealed. The Book of Enoch is another ancient sacred text recently discovered that contains the mysterious untold history of man, but was intentionally banned from the Holy Book. Recorded in the pages of this forbidden book are so many shocking events and revelations that unravel the secrets of humanity's dark past. In fact, would you believe it if you were told that many of us are descendants of some aliens, the first civilizations that set foot on Earth? Well, the recently discovered Book of Enoch gave a clue to that. So, why was the book removed from the Bible? What disturbing revelations have long been hidden from us in its pages? Moreover, this book was widely accepted and read by early Christians and Jews, but all of a sudden, it was banned from the Bible. What we found out changes everything and our understanding of history. There have been so many accounts of the history of humanity over the centuries. History has it that humans evolved from primitive hunters into advanced civilizations who constructed pyramids, designed calendars, and left behind ancient writings. And they continue to evolve to the present day. However, the account of the sudden transformation of the ancient beings, who were like giants with tails and incredible intelligence, was more than mere human evolution. The lost but found Book of Enoch revealed that there is more to it. In 1946, a group of teenagers were tending their sheep near the ancient Qumran settlement, now called the West Bank. To pass the time, they played with stones and explored the desert terrain. During one of their stone-throwing games, a stone landed in a dark cave, resulting in a loud shattering noise that startled the teenagers. Despite feeling slightly scared, their curiosity led them to investigate, and they were shocked to discover a collection of large clay pots. Little did they know this discovery held great historical significance. Inside the pots were hidden a series of ancient scrolls. Over time, various archaeologists, historians, and treasure hunters found additional fragments of scrolls in 10 other caves, bringing the total to almost 900 manuscripts. These manuscripts became widely known as the Dead Sea Scrolls. Interestingly, among these manuscripts were substantial portions of mysterious religious text, the Book of Enoch, the oldest known copies of the Hebrew Bible, and other non-biblical artifacts. The Book of Enoch. Dated to around 200 BCE, the true author of the Book of Enoch remains uncertain, but it is believed to be the work of different authors over hundreds of years, with each portion added separately. However, it has been traditionally attributed to Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah in the Bible, who was said to have been taken up to heaven by God and given a glimpse into the universe and the future of humanity. Also, Enoch was the seventh of the 10 patriarchs who existed before the flood in Genesis. For reference, you can see that in Jude 1 verses 14 to 15. Though Enoch was the father of Methuselah and the grandfather of Noah, this book is not the biblical story of Noah's Arkansas. In fact, the Book of Enoch provides an entirely different story. The Book of Enoch consists of 5 sections: the Book of Watchers, the Similitudes of Enoch, the Astronomical Book, the Book of Dreams, and the Epistle of Enoch. The first section, the Book of Watchers, which is the primary focus of this video, contains the story of how giants, also known as Nephilims, were born. According to this book, these giants were offsprings of some fallen angels. According to the scrolls found in the cave, the fallen angels, also known as the Watchers, were sent to Earth to watch over humans at some unspecified time in the ancient time. However, over time, they abandoned their role as watchers. They began to have sexual contact with some of the humans, mostly women, which resulted in the procreation of what we know now as hybrids or crossbreeds, but the Book of Enoch calls them Nephilim. The Nephilim were described as giants and savages and threatened humanity. However, compared to other humans, they possessed a higher level of intelligence, which was inherited from the fallen angels. Angered by what the Watchers had done, God locked up these fallen angels in an underground prison, deep within the bowels of earth, to prevent them from wreaking more havoc on mankind. As recorded in 1 Enoch 21:10, they transgressed the commandment of the Lord and were imprisoned. This place is a prison house of the angels, they are detained here forever. Enoch became the mediator between God and the imprisoned Watchers, but nothing changed. The scrolls vividly describe Enoch's journeys between heaven and earth as a mediator, how he flew with angels and saw the rivers, the mountains, and the very ends of the earth from above. Despite Enoch's intervention, Yahweh decided that the planet and all its inhabitants must be punished. Of course, the punishment was the Great Flood. You may ask, if these fallen angels are locked up, what of their offspring, the Nephilim? Are they also bound in chains? Unfortunately, no. While their fathers were locked up, the children suffered a different fate. Back in the days before the flood, things were pretty rough. The Nephilim invaded everywhere with their evil acts, and people had to battle evil forces day in and day out. The few righteous people of that era had it tough, with their souls constantly vexed by the prevailing evil. During this chaotic time, God decided to clean up the earth with a big flood. You're familiar with the famous story, right? The devastating flood wiped out everything on earth except Noah and everything with him in his ark. But did they perish in the flood? Well, after the flood, things took a different turn. You see, the Nephilim were a peculiar breed. They were hybrid beings, which explained their extraordinary growth, superhuman abilities, and, unfortunately, their immortality. When the floodwaters receded and their bodies were no more, the Nephilim, being non-human, couldn't follow the same path as human souls after death. So, they hung around Earth as spirits unable to live like humans anymore. Instead of staying silent, these Nephilim spirits began searching for human bodies they could inhabit to continue their influence on Earth. Now, you might be wondering, did they succeed? Yes, they did. They didn't have to look far to find suitable hosts. They entered people like Noah. Don't let that surprise you. Before the flood, Noah was known as a righteous man, even amidst the surrounding evil. But right after the flood, something unexpected happened. He planted a vineyard and ended up drinking so much that he got completely drunk and committed abominable acts. Another account also states that one of his sons in the ark with him was actually a Nephilim. Before you discard or argue about that and conclude that the Book of Enoch is a philosophical myth, wait a moment. Even the Holy Bible mentioned Nephilim several times. According to the Book of Numbers 13:33, 10 of the 12 spies reported seeing them inhabiting Canaan. They were described as so large that they made the Israelites look like locusts. You will also find the word fallen angels, Nephilim or giants, in Ezekiel 32 verse 27 as well as in the Deuterocanonical books Judith 16:6, Wisdom 14:6, Sirach 16:7, and Baruch 3:26, 28. How about the famous Goliath in the Holy Bible? You probably might have heard the story a million times. He was a giant, standing at an incredible height of 10 feet and measuring 6.5 feet wide, and of the lineage of the Nephilim. Aside from his enormous size, he was basically a walking bronze statue. He had a bronze helmet, bronze greaves on his legs, and a bronze javelin slung on his back. If that's not enough bronze for you, his spear was like a weaver's rod, with an iron point weighing 131 pounds. And if you think he was the only giant in the Bible, you are wrong. Moreover, the event of Goliath's defeat wasn't Israel's first battle with giants. As they journeyed from Egypt to Canaan, a land of giants, they encountered these gigantic beings. The Canaanites were a mix of giant races, standing at a staggering 10 to 15 feet tall and measuring 6.5 feet wide. The Israelites had to deal with these giants, but they defeated them before taking over Canaan as their land. And this is where it gets more interesting. The Holy Bible recorded that they encountered another giant, King Og of Bashan, a colossal 15 feet tall. He was so massive that he needed an iron bed just to accommodate himself. One could call him a monster. See Deuteronomy 3 verse 11. If you are also a Bible scholar, you will realize that Goliath had 5 giant brothers and sons. They are all in the Holy Bible. If they no longer exist, we won't have many references. In fact, they are among us. Throughout human history, there have been numerous accounts of giants. One renowned traveler and explorer, Marco Polo, even documented his encounters with a race of giants in Zanzibar who possessed such immense strength that they could effortlessly carry 4 ordinary men each. While the people of modern Tangier, Morocco, claimed that the founder of their city was a giant named Antix, an Irish myth tells a different tale. According to this myth, the massive Giant's Causeway on the northeast coast of Ireland, which consists of over 40,000 interlocked rock columns, was built by an Irish giant, Finn McCool, to cross the sea to Scotland to fight another giant. Apart from those legends, ancient Greek mythology is full of stories about giants. Perhaps if we look back into history, we might find more about these giants, or perhaps we might stumble upon one somewhere in the world today. Do you think giants ever existed, or is it all just myths and legends? Giants existed, as records from countless cultures suggest. Then, the Book of Enoch would look less and less symbolic and more like a manuscript based on actual history. Who knows, many of the heroes and giants we celebrate these days with extraordinary features could be the offspring of this angelic human species? By the way, legend has it that Enoch is the founder of astronomy and the one who compiled the solar calendar and many more inventions. It is quite surprising to know that an important book such as this could be banned from the Bible. Many even claimed that the Book of Enoch influenced the Book of Genesis due to similar narratives. But why? Are we also going to discard this book as an error or a mere tale? You might also ask, why are they just being discovered now? Looking back in history, the persecution of Christians is evident. In 64 AD, Nero blamed them for the fire of Rome. Later, in 303 AD, Emperor Diocletian ordered the confiscation and burning of Christian scriptures. Even during the Dark Ages 500–1500 AD, Bibles were burned along with their owners, and literacy, in general, was forbidden. This explains why these books and similar ones have been hidden from authorities and the wider population for many years. Now, we have the books of two men whose deaths were not documented in the Bible, excluded from the Holy Bible. Could this be a mere coincidence, or is there more than meets the eye? Other missing books. The Protestant Christian Bible, the most well-known and widely used Bible, is based on a collection that differs from other versions due to the omission of over 19 books, 5 Gospels, 14 epistles, and other pieces. These excluded texts were primarily disregarded by churches, notably the Catholic Church, for various reasons. Early Christians often rejected these books as they were viewed as heretical and did not completely match the 66 canonical books that form the modern Bible. While it is valuable to explore the knowledge contained in these excluded texts to gain a deeper understanding of biblical narratives and uncover details not found in the canonical books, many of these texts should be approached with caution due to their lack of alignment with the canon. The books not included in the Bible were simply excluded based on improper dating, lack of historical validity, and doctrines that were not accepted by the early church, such as the Book of Thomas saying that women must become men to enter the kingdom of God and linguistic inconsistency. For instance, after theologians examined various